Okay, I guess we're live. I don't think I had a. No, I didn't have a countdown or anything. Okay. All right. Well, hey guys. So one of the softwares I use is being discontinued support for the current Mac OS, and I'm dealing with it, trying to figure out what I can use. But I'll get it figured out, and hopefully we'll get back to the usual format. But this format is fine with me anyway. It's just there's no intro, and I'm not paying to StreamYard yet. I haven't yet bit the bullet, as they say. So if you guys are in here, say hello, and we'll go from there. So hopefully all the internets are working tonight, and we basically repeating the thing that I tried to do a couple of weeks ago. So with that said, I'm trying to find my pencil that I usually use. Finally. All right, so we got. Hey, Will, what's going on? Bayre Mastro. I'm trying to say it right. What's up? Hey, guys. Welcome. Welcome to you guys, to all the chats. Appreciate you stopping by, guys. We're going to be sketching. I'll try to do my best to sketch different version this time of Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. And since we are talking elements a little bit of how to draw elements, and at least how I approach drawing elements like fire and water and rocks and all that. So how we're gonna go about this is I'm gonna be working on coming up with the composition on this paper right here, and then we're gonna jump in on the main format and try to draw it larger. And we're gonna stay with pencils. This is mostly so far been nothing but pencils and kind of dedicated to that. And I'll move on to inking at some point, and just not yet. Okay, so we're usually this is how I warm up anyway. It's just start drawing different poses, and like he's turned a little bit, and trying to figure out what's the best course of action here. Let's see if it works and see if it doesn't work. I had a really good pose I did for one client for a commission during October. They came out pretty good. The Scorpion was a really interesting one. So we have a sword in one hand, I'm assuming, and then some kind of, maybe chain kind of wraps around here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet, but lately there's been a lot of hooded characters in my repertoire. I guess I've been doing some sketch covers and whatnot. So we're gonna have him maybe standing or walking over like a rock of some sort formation. We're gonna have some of the fire maybe on the sword. Like a samurai outfit here. He's gonna have those little plates. I just try to usually stick with the how character kind of traditionally looks, and with as well as some of the things that they have improved on in the past. So it's an interesting pose, but I feel like there's more to be desired with this one. And so another thing I found about this software here is that I can't manipulate the look of my camera. So it's a bit too saturated for me. I'm not a fan of that, but and I can't do 1080p. So I guess that's how they get you to pay for it anyway. All right. Kind of my favorite looks here. Doesn't have in his hand here. Neck is going to come out here, then his head. Trying to figure out. I like drawing with the bigger pencil at first. You just can create all kinds of broad strokes and thick lines and no. See, I don't like that. This figure eight crap just doesn't. Just there. I don't know. That kind of gets sometimes lost in translation as well. But let's make his legs disappear, shall we? Well, his feet, anyway. The mask's still there, and a small cape thing. There's that. I think the arm will be shorter, so that's because he's going to hold this. I'm going to bend this arm a little. And this is where you can play with the ideas of, hey, Vic, what's up, buddy? Welcome. Doing a little doodling today and see what I can come up with, this scorpion thing. Doing a little rough prelims. That's the difference between my channel and David Finch's channel. He has a prelim ready. He's just going in with the final. I kind of like to work out the prelims here to show you guys how, it works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't, Yeah. But you guys don't be afraid to ask a question. If you have questions, whatnot, you're just here to watch. That's all right. To see a sketch anyway. This one has potential. All right, so this one has pretty good potential. I just need to work out. What if he had? No, that's weak. So this one right here is good, but maybe have him turn and sword is going to be right across here. You gotta, when you do a lot of this, so you gotta either look beyond what you've sketched. Well, I enjoy watching the process. Oh, thanks, Will. Kind of either erase so you don't look at it, or move on quicker and try to figure out if you can see beyond what you have sketched and just see if it's better, if you like that better. And so this right here is good. I feel like this one can just drop behind there and disappear. So what we got now I'm enjoying this. I just don't know what I'm going to do with the chains yet. So we have this guy here, shoulders dipping this way. The shoulders here. Chest comes through, right? And then this arm kind of goes behind, and then a little bit of the arm comes out in the background a little bit. So this arm here, this leg comes out and kind of goes sideways here. And then the other one kind of goes back. So there's going to be this here. We won't see much of that leg. And then we're going to have arm that there, here and there. Then we're going to have empty. And then one with the sword here. What if he has two? You know, give him some just for the heck of it. You know, make it fun. So this is kind of looking at here. You have like cracks of lava or something, you know, like, or fire, since he is in hail and whatnot, right? Something like that. This will create a nice little dramatic look here. Maybe shorter. This one's wider, casting a wider net. So we'll have a good triangle here. We got a nice triangle here, movement, and then the chains will be creating a little extra movement here. So that's how I figure out my compositions most of the time. You know, prelims here. So after that, I can just jump into the final, see how it can work out. But we're gonna have these. I'm sure we're gonna have some steam or something, clouds of steam. So clouds and steam and all that—that's still elements, you know. Some of that stuff just kind of steaming out of here. We're gonna have some of that, and then sort of we have a bit of a fire, and then we're gonna have a ground covered. So there's no, metal. Of course, there's metal in the chains. No water, but that's for another day, I guess. All right. So it took me about 10 minutes to figure out the prelim. A little more. Now let's go into the final here. All right, so you might not see it as well. I'm gonna try to move in here. The difference is when I start the final drawing, and as many of you may do, that's how I do it, is I use H pencil, which is a wooden pencil, very light, and it's easy on the wear and tear of your body. Trust me. I'm not sure how David Finch uses that metal lead holder, or the heavy lead holders all the time. Maybe it's that thing that he has for ergonomic feel may help him, but for me personally, I like to use the lighter pencils. It gives me a better feel. And I feel like my hand doesn't get tired as much while I'm drawing. So, okay, so we know the figure is going to be somewhere over here. So the head's going to be sort of in the middle here. We have that empty. So, and anatomically, we have a body turn. So neck. Let's bring it up, bring the head up a little bit. Hopefully you can see that a little bit. Let me move this camera. There we go. Not just the light. I moved the light so you can see a little bit better. I feel like you do. Okay. Sorry if it's not the greatest, but I'm not a freaking producer with a freaking camera people here filming my crap. Plus, I don't invest in the super duper cameras anymore. Yellow is about as best as I get. So here we go. Shoulder is going to be over here somewhere, and this shoulder is going to drop right here since we have there's the neck here. We know that's dropping there. We have arm. This is where I get caught up and I lose the way I really like. When I start doing structure crap, I swear I start drawing like crap for real. Oh, this goes here and the structure here. I'm not that kind of artist. I just like to go by how I see the shapes and then fix that crap later, you know. There we go. That's how I draw. Enough of that BS that I was trying to do here. As they say, that's just for rookies. All right. Try this. If I remember correctly, it's a very short hood here. Arm is going to be right there. Get erased a little bit here. All right. Rocks and such here. This arm is going to come through here. There's the really rough outline here. I don't have reference of him right now in front of me, so I'll look it up here in a second. Gotta keep it real, you know, with the mask and all that. You know, can't just go creating stuff that is not there, you know. But I just remember he had one that looked like a skeleton a little bit. Yeah, get over here and all that. Like ornate looking skull mask. Yeah, I did draw one today. Nice little skull mask on the sketch cover. Go place that in here. It's gonna be behind him. Yeah, it's coming along about the same. Getting close to that. So I'll set that aside now that I got it down a little bit. You guys can see a little bit. I'm sure my camera is just angle. It's not the greatest. Maybe that'll help. All right. So I'm going to put a little sort in here, kind of like just a bit of it. Not much, just roughly placing it there. Make that there. Make sure this is. He's dressed like, and that's the thing. It's a cross between ninja and samurai. Which one is he? You know. Give him some sort of protection here. A bit of a hand. Okay. Okay, so we're arriving here a little bit. I'm still not fully like ready to step into the detailed pencil. I mean, you could here in this moment, but I feel like I could wait a little bit. Hmm. Okay, there's this. So body. I don't know why I put a shadow there. I haven't picked a light source yet, really. Most of the time it's floating in my mind, but let's see what we got here. I don't know. I don't have design figured out. So usually cloth here. Shoulders tightening up. I love it. I love being old. I don't know what I want to do with armor yet. Oh goodness, that's kicking my ass right now. Hate everything about it. So that's another thing he's just gonna run into, and I can draw some mediocre crap and just live with it and go with it, but I just can't help myself. I can't do it. And most of the times he's just like has like cloth wraps around his knee. Then all kinds of fabric, loose fabric here. So you won't really see the muscles. So that creates some kind of crappy look too. So I don't know what I just clicked on my headphones, but okay. Goodness. I feel like I need to bring that up. Yeah. So much fun. Good talk, guys. Good talk. Well, all right. So imagining it goes this way, and knee will be in here. And then we'll turn that little knee this way, and then there. Okay, so there's that. If you look at realistically proportional. And then on that is that where we're adding some armor. Let me look up some freaking armor that he has. I'm tired of not seeing any kind of reference. Hey, what's up, Dennis? Who's this? Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting old and I can't see shit right now. Can't even read those letters. I love the pose. Feels like he's about to creep up and decapitate someone. Yeah, yeah, certainly hope so. I'm glad you like it though. Appreciate that. I gotta look up a little reference real fast. Where's my character reference? There we go. MK. There we go. Okay, Mortal Kombat. Well, it's simple as hell. Okay. This right here is interesting, but this right here is like some simple kind of plate through there. And then these guys kind of wrapped around. This shows his clan here or something. Scorpion. I don't know. We're going to do this metal thing here. El Paso, Texas. Hey. Dynamite drawing with Jesse. All right. Hey. Awesome. El Paso. Nice. That's way south. Right? That's down almost next to Mexico, right? If my geography is still correct. That's awesome. I've been to, where's Texas Pan American University? We played against them back in the day in college. I'm not sure where that is, but I thought it was somewhere around there. Okay. Juarez, that's right. There was that show on FX, I think, about it, about that whole El Paso and Juarez. They did the whole thing about the cartel and stuff. It was a decent series. Awesome. Hope you like it over there. I know it's always warm, nice and warm there. Okay, his arm things. Yeah, I knew I needed to do something better with this. And then here he's got, well, technically he doesn't have muscles to show, so let's just go ahead and wrap him in this clothy stuff. Make it look like crap, but no, you gotta stick with the character design that they had. Let's open up this a little bit. I want to wrap this up a little bit right here. There we go. I'll just wrap it up a little, just like put some wraps on there so it kind of cuts off the cloth over here a little bit. I mean, it's looking better than I expected now, just a bit better. And then we know this is going to be clothy stuff. It's going to come down. It's into this leg over here that's going to disappear on us. Yeah, that's not horrible. This guy now. Make it more intricate, right? Yeah. Okay, so there's this, and there's this. That's something. I'm trying to create some extra movement since it's not a really dynamic moving running pose or anything, it's just jumping. It's kind of, yeah, that looks kind of neat. I can live with that. Red looks sweet. The best MK character, or at least my favorite. It's okay, very conservative city government. Oh, okay, conservative. I hear you. Well, I live in Midwest, so we're conservative too. So mostly, yeah, it's all true. Oh boy, that show was close to the truth then. Ay ay ay. From the big, yeah. Okay. All right. So now we're talking a little bit about rocks and such. Let's draw them a little bit. Man, that the look of the camera is just so freaking horrible. Sorry about that, guys. It just feels I'm not doing this justice. It's freaking all yellowed out, orange or whatever. Could be much better. All right, so we'll say I have some rock formations here. Just a steep, kind of volcanic rock a little bit. So we're gonna have you turning and kind of create directions here, at which is gonna kind of turn and make it more like volcanic, whatever, breaks and cracks. So once you have some kind of geometrical direction here, you can start, kind of, I feel like start creating some kind of rocks and whatnot here. So you have rocks in between, and you're gonna have creating. What I'm creating here is a little bit of openings, where we'll say there's lava kind of flows, right? Comes out and whatever. And this wraps around is going to get thinner, so shorter look, like distance between rocks and stuff. So unless they're really long, then yeah, it's different. But that's how I kind of create some of these rock formations. The idea here is just he's spewing right here into the rest of this lava that's coming out over here. That's what I have him going through. And then these more rocks over here. Okay. Do not stack them same way. Like that's one thing. Right here, I almost kind of got it carried away. But try and create different spaces, bigger ones, and I'm definitely going to break it down here. Let's create a really large one. It's going beyond this here. Otherwise, if you try to make everything all too similar, let me bring this back over here. What I'm saying is similar is by if you have the rocks and you say it becomes bricks. Okay, if you're doing laying them all in the same areas over and over, it becomes boring, right? It's becoming just ugly. So break it down, break it up. So one here is this way. One maybe taking up 3 spaces here. Some smaller ones here. Start breaking it down so it becomes random. Otherwise, it just becomes too monotonous and same, and just not. Some more lava spewing out here. And how I can tell lava from actual rock. Smoothness versus edges. And edges that are more precise and texture that creates the rock, right? So this way and go this way. So things like that. And there's a smaller rock here. And adjacent to this one. The lava spewing out still. And this one's going to be right here, is larger, much larger. Okay, so that's how it kind of create that texture here in the rocks. And some more coming off this rocks here. Just got to give it. It's going to be kind of like V-shaped here. This guy doesn't have as much. Like we said, we have some steam, smokes coming off. Steam is more of that kind of look here. Bubbles and dissipate. Just kind of dissipates into the air as this guy is kind of a little more defined closer to it. It's just, since it's all white, I'm just going to give it the outline. There you go. So that's the kind of, so steam, a little bit of steam, and a little bit of a light steam kind of fizzling. Another thing, try not to make them all the same height. So I have a shorter one here, longer one here, maybe one in the back here. It's really short. So you kind of have to break it down, going down this way. All right. Now we'll kind of lay this foundation down, and let's figure out some of these, not chains. All right. In this case, it depends on how far you want to travel here. All right. So let me get some water. And what I mean by that is how far you want to travel. Is how much problems do you want to make for yourself? Oh, so stretch out my left shoulder, tighten it up, guys. I don't know. Sat there too long. I'm trying to figure crap out. All right. So you can go ahead and, so I have this, right? I'll create this space. I know I'm going to have chains here going, kind of make them a little closer to each other. So I'm going to have them going, right? And then you can draw out every single little rectangle. All right. And so on and so forth, right? And then you start drawing these in between them. Little openings. And then you're going to start rounding them up or straightening them out. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. And that, and in the end, yeah, it's going to look nice. And then if I'm going to draw it, let's get a little closer here. It's more intimate here. Yeah, there you go.
When you get there, right, you're drawing and you're figuring out, all right, so it's all even space. All these edges. Then I'm gonna have this guy here, right? Cut attention to the next one, and so on and so forth, right? And then when you start drawing shading, you can drop a shadow here, and you have a shadow there, and this is how you draw some metal, right? Some reflection there. And in the end, you're gonna have something that resembles metal, metallic looking, chain. All right, another way of doing this. Let me get my trusty darker pencil here. All right, so see this? Okay, this is I've trusted this view for a long time now. Not gonna throw names out, but maybe Capullo is where I've kind of picked that up. He kind of mastered this thing. So I have this here, right? Have this here, have this. So what I have coming out of this is this. Makes it faster. So you build on that first, all right? So this thing, and then somewhere from the inside here, wrap around. It's kind of like interlocking, like this, interlock a little bit. So get there, and so on, and then you start coming up with this as you go. And just got to remember this one's middle, so it wraps like this. Now, if you're gonna have, say, this one's turning, so you have this popping in, and then this one like extended a little bit longer. So that will tell me that I need to do this. Okay, I'll need to do this. So you can kind of see that it's going to be slightly bent. All right, so slightly bent, you can see more of it. Okay, other than that, this chain is fine. So there's a couple of ways for you to draw chains. All right. All right. Yeah, let's back it up a little here. This thing's so loose. Hang on, I'm tightening it up. There we go. All right. Let's see what we're talking about differently. It's a perfect look on the bricks makes it robotic. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah. You gotta loosen up, make it more natural, and I see something that I don't want to see. Okay. Oh, if I don't erase it now, I'm just gonna. There you go. I hated this right here. Okay. It looked like a head of a bird of some sort. I don't want that. There we go. When I looked at the camera, I was like, "Whoa, that looks exactly like some kind of bird." I mean, for me over here, it looks fine, but sometimes, and one thing, another thing I was going to tell you guys today is that if you ever want to check your own work, um, another way I found it is taking a photo of it. Just take a photo with your phone, something, and just look at it. What it does to your, if you can't step back too far, just take a photo of it because it puts it on a smaller screen, and you can see things better, compositionally. Sometimes certain things just don't work very well. Like anatomy is off somewhere. Just do that, and you'll find that it helps a lot. I fix so many of my artworks sometimes just by taking a photo. I was like, whoa, this looks like crap here. And then shadows comes in. Shadows are really gonna what really gonna kind of change the things here. Anybody watched that video yet? I haven't finished watching it. I started it, but David Finch talking about tech. He was using some of the Mike Mignola's references. Looking forward to that. Showing a little more flat rock here. Here we go. So all in all, it's really pulling together nicely here. Still not sure where I'm pulling the light from, but I feel like maybe here. Some sort of light, and then we're gonna have lava as the kind of a light from underneath. Okay. This is my trusty little Frank Cho pencil that he likes so much. 0.7 P207 Pentels. Old school. Good stuff. I just saw that come up. That's my next one to watch. I haven't done tech stuff for a while. Yeah, I love tech stuff. And I'll be back Sunday with the guys on the Art Man, Uncanny Art Man. I had to take a week off, guys. I just could not handle this whole fiasco. I'm not feeling too good about some of these drawings I was doing. I was just like, yeah, I'm burned out. Yeah, you see it better. There you go. It's a less than an hour sketch, but it's a decent sketch for that amount of time. I gotta say, it has a good potential for later, But let's do some chains here. Once again, with the chains, as anything else in drawing, gotta know perspective, guys. I hate to say it, but you have to know how things turn, like a rectangular thing, like a block. How it's going to turn, you got to know where it's going. If you don't know, you better figure it out. Otherwise, your work is still going to look like doo-doo. Okay? That sugar coating, I don't do anymore, man. Mm-mm. Study your perspective. Draw. Non-stop. Draw. Just draw. Don't like a line, erase it.
Okay. It's turning into something. Doo-doo chains. Yeah. The doo-doo chains, man. That'll be bad. Okay, so it comes through here, comes around there. And then same thing, guys. Same thing, concept pressure. You guys can, create that little bit of space. All right. Another thing is, don't let it run into here. Don't let that line. Just turn it a little bit up above it, just above it. Figure out where your space is going to get thinner, and what is going to come back to you a little bit thicker. What I mean by is like, all right. So we know all this stuff is behind him. So most of the stuff like this right here, I know it's probably going to travel farther back. So don't give it as much space. Okay. Don't give it as much space. And then here, maybe bring it in a little bit and then pull back again. Well, it's going to be thin and then come back a little bit. And then here, I'm just going to have this overlap that. So I will know that that one is going behind this and this is closer, which means it's going to be thicker. And it's going to come this way. Turn. Go back a little. Turn, make it thinner. And please turn your paper if you need to draw something more comfortably. Don't sacrifice your comfortability just to be, I gotta keep it all straight and stuff for everybody to see, man. Forget that. So thinner again. Let me drop this lower. Gotta get it a little bit lower, I think. And thinner. And then we'll come back to him at some point. So we know that this is going there. This is coming up. This is going out, over, down, and somewhere meets him where his arm or something is wraps around. Okay. No, don't forget about the sword. All right, I'm going to do a cheat. Don't forget this. I'm not sitting here drawing straight lines. Let's cheat a little bit here. My favorite one to use. So we know this guy is holding a sword. That's a ruler I need. Come on now. All right. So we know its arm is like this. So I'll say that one, right? Yeah. This is how I line it up usually. So we'll go there. Okay, that's a straight line. That's good. But now we need a little curve in the sword. Actually, this is not my favorite. Oh, where is my favorite? Oh, yeah, but behind the scenes, guys, when I do prelims for the sketch covers. There you go. There you go. All the work that no one sees people do before the final thing. All the glory goes to that final drawing. Trying to find that. Have rules. There you go. That's my favorite. I don't play favorites, but in this case, I do. There was too many sales, so I got too many numbers. Well, Hobby Lobby had all this crazy sales. All right. So, let's pull back a little here. All right. There we go. All right.
There we go. All right. So what I do is I take this, and I know that this is right here, so I go slightly downwards, dip right around the center, bring it down. Here. And I'll show you the close up what I'm talking about real quick, so you know what I'm talking about. So the ruler is curved, but I have a straight line I drew right here, and it goes through the center of the hilt. So when I hit this and I touch just a little bit of it, so it goes up above it, and then this bottom one just wraps right underneath it, stops there, and then I curve into the sword. So it looks a little curved, but straight. That's a little trick I use anyway. That's my little trick. I don't know if it's even a trick. It's just what I've been using for a long time. And then you have a nice little sword. Okay. And pull back so you can see, guys, the whole thing. That's what we got so far. I mean, it's illustration. It's nice. I like it. Turning out better than I expected to. So. Give it a little curve, in front, just not making it too flat. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a that you can see on that side here. We got a sword. I mean, sword. Almost. There's this here. And here we go. Erase this excess stuff. Most of the swords sharpened by hand. And you will not have a beautifully even sharp line if you ever notice samurai swords. I mean, there are some I've seen where when it's sharpened a certain way, it just has like a loose line, not ever perfect. Okay, and then some fire, right? A little bit of fire on him. The sword wraps around it. I'm gonna have a fire on that, and then he's his hand the right look. Here, hence the wrap right here starts there, goes all the way down. Then wraps around the hands here. This does look good.
Just to get more little details here. It's looking awesome, bro. Oh, thanks, man. Those French curves are great for some woolly cloths. Yes, they are. I've done them before too. Yeah, especially inking. I tried freehand. Yeah, I've done that too. I've done it with freehand, and it just looks like doo doo unless I like use a brush and pull the line this way. I guess we can talk a little bit about that as well. All right, guys, when you pull in the line, so if you have a crosshatch, right? This way, yeah. Make sure you use short strokes. And a lot of times, if you notice my whole entire wrist moving, which is the best way to do it, that's for that. But when you try to draw a straight line this way, okay, sometimes it works, sometimes it does this, okay. But if you're painting or inking and you need to pull a straight line, don't ever use this unless it's a short line. I mean, do it if you feel like it. If you're really good at it, be my guest. I found that at any point I want to do a straight line, it's usually this way. A long straight line, left to right, okay, left to right, okay, left to right. And it's going to go for a while. So you can pull a nice straight line going from left to right. Anyway, hope that helps somebody. We'll give it another 20 minutes and then we'll hang it up for today. All right. All right. Zoom in here. That's a tiny stuff right here going on, right? All right. Hopefully you guys see that okay. Yeah. Tiny stuff. I'll keep it in the same. Okay. So I know which one's which here. So there's that. Yes, sir. Got some little chains in there. Here we go. All right. So see, that's how chains begin and all that. So we kind of continue this trend. And it's always good to keep in the same length as you prefer to make it look more I don't know, homogeneous, but same, or whatever word you want to use, similar. So if it becomes kind of different, it's some are way too long, some are too short. You got to have a purpose for that. And yet, the process is still tedious regardless. How many chains you got to draw? You're still going to be spending time. Try to, Neil Adams say, draw with your shoulder, but to no avail. Does it take the same patience to do rebar? The chains. You know what? I'd rather draw rebar.
Rebar is faster. Honestly, so you heard it first. Now I'm coming in on the turn here. So some of the sides are going to get thinner. Okay. Wider. Now I can fit in some of these things that you can see a little bit of the side of them. Now what happens here is it disappears. So I want to show you. It's going to get thinner right there because it's turning. So this one's in front of you. This one kind of turns back. So that's the way to show it. A little thicker here, thinner there. It looks like a ribbon. I knew you were doing chains. Yes. Gotta do chains, man. Gotta do chains. It's Scorpion, you know. It's chains. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not crying. But anyway, that's what we got. See, moving around. So right here, I'm just gonna there. It's basically the same thing I showed you guys, but slightly in reverse. And since they're closer, they're gonna be larger looking. So there I go, make them larger looking. You know what that means? I get to draw less of them. Drawing happy chains. Is there such thing? Imagine doing this over and over, traditional way, in a comic book on every single page. And you have to do, 2 pages a day or something. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, but what are you going to do? Okay. So I'll finish those chains at some point. Okay. I'll finish those chains at some point. I was going to show you guys what I got so from earlier. I've been trying to do a sketch cover a day. So I did this one a couple of days ago. No, was it yesterday? Yesterday? It might have been yesterday. And then King Spawn issue 50, they came out with some blanks. So I was like, oh, I'm going to try one. So there's this guy. Yeah, comes with the prelim. Look at that. Okay, and then I did this one today. I had to. So, I was excited to get this in. I was like, man, I'm going to draw one. I have another one blank, so I'm going to draw another one at some point. But this design kind of came upon me a little bit like, so I did a doodle of this guy right here. Then I'm like, I don't like it. So I started doing something here, and then I turned him. I was like, you know what? Ooh, how about we get some arrows over here to outline him? And then while I was drawing this, I was like, how about a couple of arrows across, kind of like skull and bones kind of feel. So there you go. Oh man, yeah, this is sick. Thank you, buddy. But yeah, I use it as my warm-ups, sort of, but then they turn into pieces. I spent about
good amount of my day today on this guy. Um, didn't even get to the commissions. I was just drawing this. But sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it takes less time. But when it's very intricate and a lot of details, you just want to spend a little more time on it. Well, with that said, guys, hey, thanks for stopping by. I'm glad you guys got to watch this a little bit, and I got to draw a little bit, and finally found a little bit of a groove. I'm hoping to get some kind of software that actually works with my streams rather than using the StreamYard. Not a big fan. It's just customizing the camera is what my main problem is. I can't adjust color, gamma, or whatever. But yeah, there's Scorpion, and I'll work him out at some point. Hopefully, finish him. For now, all my sketches from these solo streams have been put back in a folder and portfolio, so I'll pull it out later if I feel like working on them. I really want to go back to that Absolute Wonder Woman and finish her. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys stopping by, and I hope you guys learned a little something or picked up a trick or two, and I will catch you all later. Thanks, guys. Thanks for chatting with me. Dennis, appreciate you. As always, you guys are the best. Appreciate it. Ring light might help. Yeah, I have a lot of warm lights, and it's good for my eyes. So I don't like the cool lights. But yeah. All right. See you Sunday, guys. See you Sunday on Nerdy Musings podcast on his YouTube channel, who's going to be streaming all of us drawing the Uncanny Art Man. All right, guys. Have a good night.